guys, it's Arran again, and today I am reviewing the Power Rangers Turbo Phantom Ranger, but the invisible version. Because as you know, he goes invisible in Power Rangers Turbo and in the other seasons you see him in. Sometimes he goes invisible. Now this was actually one of the figures that I was hoping Hasbro would make, and they made it. So I'm extremely happy that they did make it. So yeah, I'll give you a turn around of the box now. The design of this box is actually pretty cool, but again, I don't have enough room to keep all these boxes. I wish I did, but I don't, unfortunately. But then, let's be real, I'm never gonna sell any of this stuff, so I have no need to keep the boxes. So anyway, give me a turn around of the box now. So on the front of the box you get him acting all invisible with the Power Rangers Turbo logo above him. Coming around to the side, you get a picture of him being invisible again, which is awesome. I love the fact that they did this, I really do. And coming around to the back, you see a picture of him and what he comes with, and it also tells you how tall he is and what weapons he comes with. Now he comes with a weapon that he shouldn't come with, which I'll explain in a minute. And on the other side it just says Hasbro Lightning Section Phantom Ranger. Actually, I think it just says Lightning Section Phantom Ranger. Yeah, so I was really hoping that Hasbro would release this. They did a kind of poll on what version of him to release first, and they released the normal version first, which I have reviewed. So the version you could see of him basically, but they marketed that as Power Rangers in Space, and he was only ever in Power Rangers in Space, I think twice. One for one episode and then for the grand finale episode. And then they released this one as Power Rangers Turbo. In my opinion, they should have just released the first one as Power Rangers Turbo / in Space, because then that would have made sense for both seasons, rather than release two different versions of him. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad they did do that, but yeah. So let's get him out of the box now. I've got him out the box, guys. So one of the things I really, really like about this figure is he's kind of translucent but with a shimmer, so you can sort of, so in a way you kind of get a mixture of both, kinda, if that makes sense, which probably doesn't. I will give you a turnaround of him in a minute. One thing I don't like about him is you can see his joints because of the way that he is, the kind of translucent shimmery effect. You can see his joints of how they made him, and that I'm not a big fan of. They could have done those almost the same colour as this, because then it would have then blended in with the figure and wouldn't be such a glaring thing for me. Now, it may not bother some people, but it slightly bothers me. Anyway, I'll give you a turnaround of him now. Yes, his head is up. Jesus. So, weirdly, guys, it's coming around to the side first. So you can see what I'm talking about in his arm joint there. You can see kind of the arm joint thing, which is what I don't like about it. And then coming around to the back, you can sort of see it in the back as well, specifically near his bottom torso, and definitely the back of his knees and the front of his knees, you can see it. But coming round to the front, the actual figure itself, I really do. Looks fantastic. They've kind of kept to the visor kind of a greyish black to kind of, I guess, kind of give it that sort of visor effect still. But yeah, he looks absolutely amazing, he really does. Apart from the obvious issues, which I'll talk about more in the ratings. Now, I'll probably mention this again at the end of the video as well. But I don't know if you can still get hold of him, because obviously Paris Hasbro don't sell Lightning Collection stuff anymore. But I'm sure if you Google him, you'll find him on places like Amazon, Zavvi, wherever. I'm sure you'll find him. Anyway, now on to the accessories. So for accessories, he has this big orange effects piece, which kind of wraps around his chest to give him an effect like he's been hit in the chest or something similar. The other effects piece is red, which now this accessory kind of has two things it can do. It can go in the tip of the turbo navigator, which I'll give you a close-up look of in a minute. But it can also go in the Phantom Ranger's chest, which it never did on the show, so I don't get that. I don't get that at all. I really don't. And he gets two sets of hands, two spare sets of hands, and obviously the ones he's got on him now. And then the gun, which is the turbo navigator, which he never had on the show. So I do not know why they gave that to him. He had his own design of weapon, which was not like the turbo navigator at all. It really wasn't. So I don't know why they gave that to him. So that's all the accessories, guys. Now on to my ratings. So my ratings on this is, I love it, I really do. I'm really glad they made this, I really am. So, if there was one thing I could change on it, it would be making the joints the same colour as the actual figure. Because of the colour the joints are, you can see them through the figure. Actually, there's one more. Two more, actually. Sorry, guys. They gave him the turbo navigator, which he never had. He had a completely different kind of weapon. It was almost like a lasery type thing rather than the turbo navigator. And the effects piece that goes into the hole on his chest, which is difficult to see, but there is a hole that it pokes into on his chest, because that never happened on the show. What happened on the show is he had his power ruby there. So ratings wise, 7 out of 10. Just because of the issues I just talked about. So I want to say 7 out of 10. Anyway, guys, I'll catch you in the next one.